కాన్సెప్ట్లోకి వెళ్ళి శ్రీ డాక్టర్ రామ్మోహన్ తర్వాత నాదొక మ్యూజిక్ గ్రూప్ స్టాటస్
Master E.K. Namaskaram Master M.N. Namaskaram Master M.N. Namaskaram Master C.V.B. 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 to your lotus feet. Namaskaram Master C.V.B. to your lotus feet. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatiham Bhavamaye Kavim Kavinam Upamastravastamam Jeshwarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspata Anasrumbannoti Pissidasadanam. Om Sri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Gurubhyo Namaha. सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्रवतु मा विद्विषावहै. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम भूर्भुवस्सुवः ओम तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. ओम भूर्भुवस्सुवः ओम तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. ओम भूर्भुवस्सुवः ओम तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. ओम शांति शांति शांति.
ओम सभाय नमः. ओम सभाय नमः. सभा सरस्वती नमः. ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. ఈ రోజు సైకాలజీ ఆఫ్ మ్యూజిక్ అండ్ మ్యూజిక్ థెరపీ కార్యక్రమంలో ఫస్ట్ సండే ప్రోగ్రామ్కి ఇచ్చేసిన పెద్దలందరికీ ఇదే మా ఆహ్వానం. 2014 సెప్టెంబర్ 18వ తారీఖున సైకాలజీ ఆఫ్ మ్యూజిక్ అండ్ మ్యూజిక్ థెరపీ మా గురువు గారైన డాక్టర్ గౌరీ రామ్మోహన్ గారు కర్ణాటక సంగీతాన్ని ప్రజలందరి దగ్గరికి తీసుకువెళ్ళాలనే ఉద్దేశంతో ప్రారంభించారు. దానిలో భాగంగా గొప్ప గొప్ప విద్వాంసులందరూ వారి యొక్క అనుభవసారాన్ని, వారి యొక్క సంగీత జ్ఞానాన్ని విద్యార్థులందరికీ ఈ సంగీతం యొక్క ప్రాముఖ్యతను తెలియజేయడం జరిగింది. దీనిలో భాగంగా ఈ కొత్త సంవత్సరం 2025 ఫస్ట్ సండేలో మా గురువుగారి యొక్క పెద్దమ్మాయిన డాక్టర్ సృజనా సతీష్ గారు వారి యొక్క మ్యూజికల్ టాక్ని అందివ్వబోతున్నారు. ఫస్ట్ ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు వెల్కమ్ founder and president of Dr.Gowri Rammohan garu. Welcome to the dais. Archita to come onto the dais and present the course. Next, I would like to welcome Dr.Srujana Satish garu to come onto the dais and Dr. Nishita. దీనిలో భాగంగా మా గురువు గారు ప్రెసిడెంట్
Good morning to everybody. It's a privilege that we are having our session this morning, assembly of this morning. And I'm very happy to share with you all the joy that we are having by starting this center just very few months back. And we had very good speakers these few sessions, and today it's no words to express my joy to say that I'm sharing the stage with my daughter who is a CPMMT. So nothing else gives us more joy than seeing our children grow and our students growing up. So I'm happy to be with you all today, this morning. And the purpose of starting this center is to bring music to everybody, the normals and people who are little bit disadvantaged at certain levels. So initially we are starting with promoting music, how it can be of help to people in several ways. So in that context we have been having a few lectures.
నెక్స్ట్ కార్యక్రమం డాక్టర్ సృజనా సతీష్ గారి మ్యూజికల్ టాక్ ఉంటుంది. బయోడేటా చదవాల్సిందిగా ఆమె
Dr.Srujana Satish, who founded the S3A Academy in the UK about 9 years ago in 2016, is both a practicing musician and a musicologist for over 3 decades. Her passion for music is uncovered at a tender age of 3 by her parents, Dr. Rammohan, one of the top chartered accountants in the city, and her mother, Dr. Gowri Rammohan, a professor of psychology in AU, who later headed the Department of Music and Dance. Her training in music is both rigorous and disciplined under her mother's watchful eye and father's encouragement and support. Dr. Srujana is fortunate to have initially tutored by great Sri Prakash Garu, for which the eminent Sri Vijayeshwara Garu personally trained and oversaw her learning. Post her marriage, she has been under the tutelage of Sri Datta, who has fine-tuned her skills. As a musician, she has given over 800 concerts across the country, including in major sabhas across India and the UK. She has to her credit numerous accomplishments, awards, and felicitations. Some of the awards she cherishes are NCRT Scholarship in Music as a teenager, as well as gold medals awarded for Ragam, Tamil, Pallavi by renowned sabhas and institutions. Academically, she has the distinction of having been the first student in over 2 decades to obtain distinction in Diploma of Music, as well as being a gold medalist in MA Music. Interdisciplinary research in psychometric study of ragas, combining psychology and music, earned her a PhD from AU. She is net qualified and has presented in international conferences as well as published papers on music in reputed journals. She has also taught students as a guest faculty in AU Department of Music as well as distance education. Additionally, she has had the good fortune of being recorded for 2 music albums by the founder of World Teacher Trust, Sri K. Parvati Kumar, under the Sangeeta Sanskriti series to promote Indian culture globally. After moving to the UK about a decade ago, she continued to pursue her passion in performing Carnatic concerts across the UK, as well as teaching music in addition to giving guest lectures in Indian classical music to graduate and postgraduate students of ethnomusicology, as well as world music in University of Manchester and Sheffield University. She has continued her research in music in collaboration with individuals, organizations, and institutes for the last decade. In addition to being a musician and a musicologist, Dr.Srujana Satish splits her time managing her responsibility as a civil servant. We are very honored to have her take time to join CPMMT today to conduct a workshop on Know Your Musical Personality. With this brief introduction, I welcome her on stage. Request you to welcome her with a round of applause.
బయోగ్రఫీలో కొన్ని విషయాలు మనం తెలుసుకున్నాము. దాంతోపాటు కొన్ని విషయాలు కూడా తెలియజేయాలనుకుంటున్నాను. డాక్టర్ సృజన సతీష్ గారు, డాక్టర్ రామ్మోహన్ గారు, గౌరీ మేడం గారికి పెద్ద అమ్మాయి. మొదటగా తల్లిదండ్రుల వద్ద సంగీత అభ్యాసం చేశారు. తర్వాత తెలుగు విజయేశ్వరరావు గారు సంగీతం నేర్చుకున్నారు. ఆ నేర్చుకునే టైంలో ఇప్పుడు పిల్లలందరూ పరీక్షలు ఉంటే సంగీతం క్లాసుకి రావట్లేదు, సంగీతం పక్కన పెట్టేస్తున్నారు. అలాంటి స్థితిలో ఆవిడ 9th 10th ఆ స్థితిలో ఉన్నప్పుడు 1 year పూర్తిగా సంగీతాన్ని కేటాయించి రోజుకి 16 గంటలు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసి, ఇప్పుడు మనం అన్ని తెలుసుకున్నాం, ఇన్ని అవార్డు వచ్చాయి, మీ గోల్డ్ మెడల్స్ వచ్చాయి, ఇన్ని వచ్చాయని చెప్పేసి మనం తెలుసుకున్నాము. రోజుకి 16 గంటలు, రోజు 1 year అంతా సాధన చేసి, అంత కష్టపడి అంత సాధన చేశారు కాబట్టి ఇప్పుడు ఈ స్థితిలో ఉన్నారు. అంతేకాకుండా సంగీతం ఒకటే కాకుండా మళ్ళీ చదువు ఎక్కడ వెనక్కి వెళ్ళకూడదని మళ్ళీ ప్రైవేట్గా మెట్రికులేషన్ కట్టి దాంట్లో డిస్టింక్షన్తో పాస్ అయ్యి మంచి మార్క్స్తో పాస్ అయ్యి మళ్ళీ గొప్ప చదువుని సాధించి ఎంతో చేశారు. అంతేకాకుండా ఆవిడ ఇంట్లో నేను ఆవిడ శిష్యురాలు ఫస్ట్గా ఆవిడ దగ్గర నేర్చుకున్నాను. తర్వాత ఆవిడ యూకే వెళ్తున్నప్పుడు మేడం గారి దగ్గర జాయిన్ అయ్యాను. అప్పుడు నేను చూస్తున్నప్పుడు ఇంట్లో పిల్లల్ని పెంచడం విషయంలో, ఇంట్లో ఫ్యామిలీని చూసుకోవడం విషయంలో, సంగీతం విషయంలో ఏది తక్కువ కాకుండా ఎలా మేనేజ్ చేసుకోవాలనేది కూడా నేర్చుకున్నాను. చాలామందికి ఆవిడ చాలా గొప్ప ఇన్స్పిరేషన్. అంటే ఇది ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే, ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న పిల్లలు సంగీతం చదువు మనకు ఉండాలి, సంగీతమే పక్కన పర్వాలేదు అనే స్థితిలో నుంచి కాకుండా సంగీతం కూడా చేస్తూ అన్నీ చేయొచ్చు అనే బ్యాలెన్స్ చేయొచ్చు అనే దానికి ఆవిడ గొప్ప ఎగ్జాంపుల్. అది తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ మేడం. యూకేలో పెద్ద మ్యూజిక్ సంబంధించి పెద్ద జాబ్ చేస్తున్నారు, అన్నీ చేస్తున్నారు. అంతేకాకుండా ఆవిడ చిన్న వయసులోనే ఎన్నో రచనలు చేశారు అమ్మవారి మీద, వాళ్ళ మీద. ఎలా అంటే అమ్మవారు వచ్చి రాయించుకునేవారు అని చెప్పేవారు అనమాట. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
I really appreciate the formulation of this center for psychological music and music therapy. While it is definitely novel to Vizag, I believe it is a much needed one to create an awareness about the impact of music on the minds of people. Currently, there is a widespread research which is being conducted globally, on the ability of to harness the beneficial impacts of music to one's mental and physical well-being. And I believe institutions such as the CPMMT are needed to ensure this awareness and research are carried out to benefit not only the denizens of the city but also across the country. So, now most of you must be wondering what today's workshop, know your musical personality, what's it all about? And I assume you would have come across or even used the term personality. So just to summarize, in its simplest form, personality is a term which is used to describe the intrinsic nature of character or disposition, temperament, behavior. So with that clarified, let's explore what an individual's musical personality is today. So I would like to tell you upfront that today is not going to be just a talk. I'm not just going to give a lecture, so don't think you'll be bored. Hopefully you will not be bored. So I want this to be more like, it's not even a lecture demonstration. I want interaction. I want you to speak. So speak free. And we'll also have some activities, some interesting things to do. So as you can see, some papers are being distributed. So I will come to that. We'll come to what the questionnaire is about and what it is about. So, however, before we delve into the deeper subject of musical personality, I would like to get your inputs on some of the questions in the questionnaire. And so there is no right or wrong answer. You can be upfront, you can be absolutely free to answer whichever option you feel is so we'll just go through that first sheet only. I can see that some of you are already answering the question. So we just do the first sheet on both the sides of the first sheet. I can go through the questions for you if it is easier. Question paper. So your name is optional. If you want to write your name, please feel free. If you don't want to, there's no compulsion. You don't have to write your name. But if you can just mark the age group that you are in. So we've just done up to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60 and above 60. Also the gender and then the education. So either you are in school, you are a student, or if you are an undergraduate or graduate and postgraduate and above. And then your background in music, whichever you feel is apt for you.
Make it fast.
So it's just to know a little about you so that we'll see what this means towards the end of the session. So the first one is about, do you want me to say the questions or are you okay? I'll just give you 5 minutes so that you can read through and answer.
Yeah, you can read it. So that online also people will know the questions.
Yeah. So it's just to know a little bit about yourself. So would you consider yourself to be creative? Which is, are you curious? It can also be like, even you're cooking, you just want to use some new spices, let's say, for example. So you are creative, or you're not really bothered about all of those things. So you have 5 options over there, so which is like totally agree, somewhat agree, and neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, and totally disagree. So those are the 5.
అందాక ఒకసారి మాట్లాడేది చూస్తారు ఇద్దరితో మాట్లాడేది
The second question says, when presented with new ideas or changes, how do you usually respond? So I would love to try and see how I can do it.
మాట్లాడు
Or I like the idea. Or the third option is, this sounds good, but I'm not sure about your new idea. The fourth option, it does not sound bad, but I do I need to do it. And the fifth one is, the current way is looking well, so you don't want to make any change, you just want to go with whatever is going on, and you're fine with that. So like I said, there is no right or wrong answer. Whatever you feel that you would like to do. And the third question is, if you are given responsibility to lead or complete a task, what would you like to do? Would you take pride in your execution, think deeply and plan and execute tasks? Or would you always deliver good results, considering challenges and complete tasks? The third option, you can complete tasks expected of you. Or the fourth one, you are confident as you can do any task you set yourself. And the fifth one is, you get things done as you know how to. Plans don't really matter. So if you want to plan ahead, are you okay just to go with the flow? Then the fourth question is, when it comes to attention to detail. So do you consider yourself to be like very particular, meticulous about every detail, the smallest of details? Or are you particular about only the key details? Or are you someone who looks at the bigger picture and some of the details? Or are you focused on your, the right vision and details can be managed later? Or are you like a visionary, like only the big picture, big ideas, that's what really matters and details, can be considered when needed. So that's the side one of your first sheet. I just want you to answer only the first sheet. Second sheet is towards the end, so we'll keep it like that. And the fifth question, how do you describe yourself socially? So do you like to love meeting new people and making new friends? Or are you like, I like making new friends, but you take a little time to speak freely? Or I do not actively seek to make new friends or acquaintances. You're okay. Or are you like, I prefer company of existing friends rather than meeting new people? Or are you like, I have very limited friends and mostly prefer to be on my own. And the sixth question, how do you find yourself when you are amongst a gathering? Like say, you go to a marriage function or some wedding, or some kind of a function, birthday party, something like that. Are you like, I'm usually the center of attention? Or are you like, I sometimes am the center of attention, but you let the others take credit. Or I don't like to draw too much attention to myself, but join occasionally. Or are you like, I mostly prefer to be by myself. Right? I join in reluctantly because balanta kalakadani rendu anta appudu then you come to the picture. Or are you like, I prefer to watch others have a lot of fun. You want to be the silent spectator. You just want to be here. And then the next question is, if someone needs help, some help is needed, what will you do? Will you like go out of your way and help someone who needs help? Or are you like, I will try to help where possible if it is within my means. I will definitely help kind of thing. Or will you be like, I will help someone if I am asked, and then I will be I'm open to help, but will let someone else help them unless essential. But are you like, people should be self-reliant and maybe, if I might help if I'm the last option. Is that what you think? Then the eighth question is like, when you see someone in trouble, some customer or someone is in trouble, what thought crosses your mind? So do you see yourself in their shoes and completely feel their pain? Are you very sympathetic and all of that? Or do you I empathize with their pain and will support as much as I can? I will help them. Or are you I understand their troubles and offer moral support. Moral support of I can't give you any help. Or are you I know things are not great, but it is important not to lose hope. You feel that, it'll be fine, you'll be fine. Or are you I know, unfortunately there is nothing I can do at the moment. I can't do anything. But the last two questions which are there. So would your family and friends, so me to take on a while, what do they consider about you? Do they consider that you are, very emotionally sensitive person or gets upset equally? For that, the first one is people can make out when I feel emotional. So, or I am sensitive, but only people who are very close to me can identify that. Or are you I mostly control my emotions well and can get away most of the time. So people will not know whether I'm sad or whether I'm excited. People will not know. Or do you I have a strong control of my emotions and you will not see me upset. Very, very strong control you have. Or I'm very strong will. My mind rules over my heart. I always go with what my mind says. And the last question. So when there is a situation of crisis, let's say something terrible happens, some crisis is come up, so how do you react? So do you feel extremely stressful, panic, and react in a state of panic, or are you I'm usually stressed and very anxious, and over panic, and I'm very stressed? Or I am slightly stressed, but can mostly manage it. I can control my state of mind. Or I am not usually stressed and tend to think logically. Even in your mind also, you are not very stressed. Or I am completely relaxed and very relaxed and take balanced decisions despite crisis. So these are the questions that I wanted you to answer. And before we move on, if someone can collect all of those, the first sheets. Oh, by the way, sorry, that's one thing. I think we didn't do the scoring, right? So we'll just keep your papers. We'll do the scoring and then I think. Yeah. Okay? So like I said, there is no right or wrong answer. We've answered all of the questions over there. Then, okay, so here are the scores which you can please on the side, if you can, whichever answer you have marked, if it is A, put a 5 beside that. If it is a B, put 4, C, 3, D, for all the questions. All questions, same scoring. Just put the number beside that. Or if you have scored E, just put 1. These numbers have nothing to do with high low of your, okay, low, ఎక్కువ మార్కులు వస్తే మనం ఎగ్జామ్ పాస్ అయిపోతాము, ఎక్కువ తక్కువ మార్కులు వచ్చే అలాగే లేదు. So this is just to understand about, we'll come to that towards the end where it is true.
I didn't understand the last point. You said that, you said no. Points.
Points. We just so just put the scoring for each of your questions. For every question you have, I have given you 5 options for every question, A, B, C, D, and E. If you have answered A, just put a 5 beside that.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, like this. Like I said, this is a, we need to get the total score as well. So, total score also. Okay, and just put that mark of score on the other sheet so that you remember the number. Just put that number somewhere on top so that you remember what number it is. So once you have scored for every question, make a total all of those numbers and the total score what you have got. So it's all a simple addition. All score everything. Total all the numbers for all the 10 questions that we have. The total score ఏదైతే ఉందో ఆ నంబర్ ఒక్కటి మీకు ఆ సెకండ్ షీట్ ఇచ్చాను కదా దాని మీద జస్ట్ పెట్టుకుంటే సో దట్ యు విల్ రిమెంబర్ హౌ మచ్ యు హావ్ స్కోర్డ్. సో విల్ సీ వాట్ ద score means towards the end. Just put the score on the second sheet and you can just return the sheet 1. Yeah. So once you have made the score, made the total and mark the score on the second sheet, you can please let me know and then we can carry on. Or you can చేస్తున్నారా? స్కోర్ నోట్ చేస్తున్నారా? Second sheet, just keep it with you, please. Towards the end, again, we'll have another activity. Yeah, we can go for the next. So before we start, actually start the session today, I would like to tell you a story. Story time. So in the Garga Samhita, that's given the chapter, 5th canto, 21st chapter, 47 to 49 sloka. So in this Garga Samhita, you will come across the story of Narada Muni. There is a long story. I am not going to go through the full story to cut a long story short. So he once comes to a place called Vedanagara in Ailavrata Varsha. That's the name of the place. There he sees some beautiful men and women, but they were all deformed bodies. Some did not have, the shoulder was broken, or the ankle was broken, leg was broken, or they were all they were all in deformed bodies. They were so beautiful to look at, but they were all with deformed bodies. He questions them, and he wants to know the reason. Why are you like this? What has happened? He asks them, what happened? Why are you like this? Then they reply saying that, we are all ragas and raginis. There is one Brahma's son called Narada. He sang all out of tune. He was not having proper ardor when he was singing. God alone knows what he was singing. Because of that, we have now become like this. We are all ragas and raginis. We have become deformed because of Narada's singing. He gets a shock. He is only Narada. He is like, oh, what have I done? Then he asks them, what can I do to rectify my singing? How do I do? They say, you have to pray to Goddess Saraswati. You have to pray to Saraswati. Only Saraswati Devi can bless you with good music. And then he does a lot of tapas. He performs tapas to Saraswati Devi, who happens to be Narada's mother, right? But even for him to get the grace of his mother, Goddess Saraswati, he had to do a lot of tapas. And then finally she appears. And then this is what tells about what he's been blessed with. So I just read that slokam and then I will give you the meaning of that. So it says, Ragaishta, Ragini-ishta, Tat Putraishta Tathaivacha, Desha Kaladi-bhedaishta, Talamana Sware Shat Panchashat Koti Bhede, Antar Bhede, Asankhitai, Grame, Vrityai, Savadite, Murchana Sahite, Shubhe, Vaikuntasya Pate, Sakshat, Priya Mukhya Saraswati, Swaragamyai Pade Siddhi, Patayam Asa Naradam. So what it means is that Goddess Saraswati, the dearest beloved of the Lord of Vaikuntha, then taught Narada the different ragas and raginis, their derivatives, the proper times and places for the different kinds of music, the different rhythms, the 516 million divisions and numerous subdivisions of scales, various dances, the different musical instruments and the different kinds of modulation. So I can only imagine what all those ragas and raginis are going through when we are all singing now. If Narada himself, was not perfect, then what are we? But anyway, so when I came across the story, and then several others, and I was reading about Sangeeta Darpana of 15th century of Damodar and Mishra. he also proposes about 6 ragas and then 30 raginis. So creating a system of 36. The system is really popular even now in Rajasthan. So it intrigued me. I was like having so many questions, like, if ragas were really human beings and they have a personality, then which ragas would I want to be friends with? It's not like you're going to be friends with each and everyone in this world. You'll have some preferences. You'll be like comfortable with some people. You're not comfortable with some people. So, and I was thinking that if anyone, with any one person's given personality, what kind of music would please them, or would they prefer to listen? So these questions started coming into my mind. And then that made me do extensive research in both music and psychology, including different personality theories and all of that. And I found a profound correlation between music and personality. So in today's workshop, we will try to explore some of these personalities and their association with music. And I will try to simplify some very complex terms using Feynman technique. Richard Feynman, he was a brilliant physicist. What he said was, if you can't explain something in simple terms, for a small child, if you can't explain, that means you have not understood the subject well. So which is why, please bear with me if you think that it's too simple. I'm just trying to simplify that. So there are basically 3 things which I want to draw your attention to. So one is about some technical terms, because so many of our own Carnatic music treatises, books, they have given so many things. So it is very, very important that we need to see some of these technical terms in music. Then we also see about human personality, and then we will go into what musical personality is. Yeah? Slide 6. So we'll quickly glance at some of them. Now, before I go into that, I just want to, like I said, it's going to be interaction. I want you to answer. Feel free to raise your hand if you want to say something. You can. So, do we have anything like good music and bad music? What do you think? Yes? Please.
Music is divine.
Music
Bad
is
noise and good music.
very nice. That's actually perfect. So, because I might like some music and I say that is good music. You might listen to something else which might seem bad to me, but for you it is good music. Same thing. When I say, listen, you might say, I really so it's all dependent on, which is why I said, there is nothing like this is good, this is bad. It's all in what we feel, what we prefer to listen. It's a relative term. Absolutely. We'll go to the next one. So you might have heard about rasa theory or navarasas and bhava and all of those things. So let us quickly go to see what rasa means. What is rasa in Sanskrit? It's basically juice or essence, or taste. You have multiple meanings in Sanskrit. In it, we'll have for one word, we'll have multiple meanings. But essentially, that's the essence or taste. And even in Telugu also, we quite often we say chalprasam, mamirasam, alan, chalprasam, that's not only rasam. So rasam. So in Natya Shastra, which is Bharata Muni's Natya Shastra, as you might be aware of. So in his Natya Shastra, in the chapter 6 is given about rasa theory. Right? So I'll give it that. Yeah, chapter 6, 32 slokam. Nahi rasa dhrite kashchidartha pravartate tatra vibhavanubhava vyabhachari samyogadrasa nishpattihi. Okay, so no meaning proceeds without rasa. So now the rasa is produced from a combination of Vibhava, Anubhava, and Vyabhachari Bhava. So those are the determinants, consequence, and complementary psychological states. So we'll come into that bhava in a bit. We'll first see what rasa means. And I'm not going to go through all of the slokams and read them, but I'll just give you a quick glance of, because I'm also conscious of time. So rasa, he also says, Bharata says that it is said that as taste, that is rasa, results from a combination of various spices, vegetables and other articles, and as 6 tastes like Shadruchu, they're produced by articles such as raw sugar or spices or vegetables. So similarly, the durable psychological states or sthai bhavas, when they come together with various other psychological states, they attain the quality of rasa or sentiment as translated. So this is all given by Bharata some 2,500 years ago. Then he gives like a question answer. He says, Atraha rasa iti ka kathatah. So now one inquires, what is the meaning of the word rasa? Uchyate asvadyatva. Right? So it can be relished. ఆస్వాదించాలి ఏదైనా భోజనం చేస్తే మీ అమ్మగారు భోజనం చేసి పెడితే నాకు ఒక్కొక్కటి తెలియడం కాదు చాలా బాగుంది అమ్మాయి కూర ఎంత బాగుంది టేస్ట్ చాలా బాగుందని చెప్పాలి. Like so you should relish what you eat, you should relish what you listen. Okay? So music is something which can be relished. So that's why he says it is aswada chesariya. And so it's also said that just as well-disposed persons while eating food, just as how while eating food cooked with many kinds of spices, enjoy its taste and attain pleasure and satisfaction, so similarly, the cultured people taste the durable and psychological states while they see them represented by an expression of various psychological states with words or gestures. ఇప్పటికే అలాగే బాగుందంటే బాగా okay. So basically we use gestures even in our daily life, and we should also remember that Bharata's Natyashastra he was giving in terms of drama, dance, and music was a small part of it. So Nritya Nataka as we call it. So he was giving in terms of that. So he was trying to explain for dance and for drama as well. So, and also again, he says the same thing in different words, saying that just as a connoisseur of cooked food, while eating food which has been prepared from various spices and articles, so as the learned also they taste in their mind or in their manas, in their heart. In their manas, okay? The durable psychological states such as it can be love, it can be sorrow, many emotions, and they are represented by gestures or so. Music is a way of expression of your mental state. So, like I said, so sugar cane and one be charuku and charuku rasam. So rasam ekkadi nunchi vachindi? Charuku nunchi vachindi. So what is cheruku? If cheruku rasam is rasam, what is cheruku? That is bhava. That is only bhava. So mavadi pandu unte mavadi pandu is the bhava. Dani nunchi rasam tiste mavadi rasam vastundi juice. So then he goes on to the next section. Okay, so I think so those are the navarasas which were given by Bharata, or given 8, and then Shantarasam was added later on. Go to the next one. So this is about the bhava, right? So bhava is nothing but your mental state or mood balance. So that's your bhava, that's your what you're feeling, and then dani batti dani rasam vastundi. So like I said, I'm not going to go into too much of detail. So the slokams are there, but I'm not going to give. So what he says, Bharata says is, it is said that bhavas are so called because through words, gestures and representation of the sattva, they infuse the meaning of the play into the spectators. And he says about, when the meanings presented by the determinants, so these are the slokas that are on the screen here. So vibhava and consequence, anubhava, are made to pervade the hearts of the spectators, and they are called bhavas. And he also goes on to say that the inner idea of the playwright, like I said, it's about drama and what the story is about, the playwright is made to pervade the minds of the spectators by means of words, gestures, color. How do we measure our personality type, or how do we identify our personality type? Of course, nowadays you have so many online. You go online, you have, I think the most widely used tests are Kiersey temperament assessment, which is their KTA, and then followed by the Myers-Briggs type indicator. And then you have so many other different personality type identification or assessment that you can have. You can try to 16-point questionnaire or questionnaire for iSense 3-factor model, or Hogan's personality inventory, which has the 5-factor model, and so on. So that now coming to the most interesting, musical personality. So now that you have seen what music is, what personality is, or what are the technical terms which are being used in music and what personality is, now we will talk about your personality, musical personality. So before we go further, let us do one activity. Yeah? So like I mentioned at the start, this is not going to be a lecture demonstration. Till now you've been quiet, I didn't say anything. Now I want you to speak up. I'll ask you questions. Okay. Now what we'll do is, I will play one piece of music, right, which will be approximately 90 seconds. So I just try to keep it to that, not to bore you for too long. Then you have the second sheet with you, right? So what we do is, I want you to give a score after you listen to the piece of music, the first one. Then you can score it as to how you liked it or did not like. We'll go into the detail. Let me just first play the piece, and then we can answer it. Yeah. That was the first musical piece. So here the rating will be, if you did not like the piece at all, give 1. If you love the piece, give 5. Anywhere in between 2, 3, 4. So 3 is average, okay, or less than. 4 is okay, more than average, if you liked it. So 5 being that you have loved it. 1 being you have hated it. Okay? So, did anyone guess what that ragam is? I'm sure you would have. What is it? Kadala Kukula. Brilliant. Like if you want to write it on top, you just given a line over there. So if you want to just write it so that we'll go back to that again. Yeah. Just give 5 if you have loved the piece. 1 if you did not like it at all. 4 is 3 is average.
Another box ranking.
Ranking if that's towards the end. Okay, so that was color Kutukalam. Now, can I just ask you, can you just give me like in one word if you have to say, how did you like the piece? Not like, but how did you feel the piece was? For example, was it lively? Was it lively? Yeah? So do you want to just give some more words to say, how did you feel the piece was? Was it energizing? Yeah? Exhilarating. Yeah? And? Anyone? This is not an exam, this is not a test. Please feel free to speak. This is an interaction. Till now it's only just been one-sided.
Very melodious and full of very types of notes.
Various types of notes. Yeah.
Very melodious.
Melodious. Brilliant. Anyone else? Or uplifting. Yeah, that's a brilliant one. Uplifting, it is uplifting. Yeah. Pleasant. Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. Are we good with that vocabulary? That those words are enough to describe the piece. So, can you move on? Yeah. And also just keep once more. Oh, I'm not going to just the first one. Okay. So let me ask you one more thing. Why do we listen to music? Can you tell me why we listen? For various reasons. There are no answers over there, so you can just be free and tell me. Why do we listen to music?
Relaxation. To relax.
Anyone else?
To get emotion.
To get emotions. Brilliant, yes. Any other answer?
Stress relief.
For peace. What?
Relief.
To stress relief, yes. To relieve your stress. To heal. Brilliant. Which is why we have the CPMMT. Isn't it? Absolutely. So, basically, మనం ఇంత సింపుల్గా చేస్తాం కాబట్టి పాపం కొంతమంది ఉంటారు అలా రీసెర్చ్ చేస్తారు సో దే హ్యావ్ as well they have done research and they said that there are 3 basic reasons why you listen to music. So the first one, like you have all said, so we listen to music when we are actually performing a task. It could also be to get rid of boredom. That's also a task. Bore kodutundi sare music so to perform a task. So some people also listen to music for while working or while driving, for example. I think most of you must have already experienced when you go for a concert, you go in a taxi. Whenever we used to go, on the way back, రాత్రి కచేరీ అయ్యాక చీకట్లో రాత్రి అర్ధరాత్రి టాక్సీ రిటర్న్ అవుతుంటే టాక్సీలో లౌడ్ ఏవేవో సినిమా పాటలు పెట్టి చిరాకు వచ్చేసేది. ఎందుకు రా బాబు ఇలాగా ఇప్పుడు దాకా హై ప్రసాదంగా పాడుకున్నాం కచేరీ చేసుకున్నాం వస్తుంటే loud music, whatever he like, the driver.
You remember that song?
చదువు చాలా అసలు వచ్చినాక my father and I, we were coming back from a concert one night and then we were from Chicago and there was this song, he kept playing it over and over again, I think, అంటే చట్నీ చేస్తావు ఇది చేసేస్తావు 10 మంది వచ్చిన వంట చేస్తావు చదువు కూడా చాలా ఇష్టం అంటే దట్ వాస్ ఫర్ అడల్ట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రమోషన్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ క్యాసెట్ వాస్ ప్లేయింగ్ అండ్ ఇట్ వాస్ సో అనాయింగ్ but anyway why would you have put that particular song at night? Any guesses?
Keep him awake.
Exactly, because he needs to be awake. రాత్రి వచ్చేటప్పుడు పీస్ఫుల్గా కామ్ అంటే నిద్రపోతాడు యాక్సిడెంట్ అయిపోతుంది. So he can't have, but if you ever travel early in the morning, if you're going to some, let's say, Annavaram or some other place, or any place for that matter, you might have heard the driver put the cassette for all bhakti songs. Morning and bhakti part better. Fresh on the mind, fresh on the way. So then you don't have a problem. You're okay. You're like, okay, some Vishnu Sahasranam or something is going on and you're okay with that. But in the night, if he puts some peaceful music, he will definitely go and sleep. So there are some people who are really, they want music when they're studying as well. Not I can't study, I can't concentrate on reading or studying when I have some music. Because first thing it was like a year around mind I can't concentrate and study. But there are some people, in fact my son, he plays one kind of music which is like, this is for study amount. And he's like, I can concentrate more, I can concentrate better when I have that. Like, how on earth are you listening to that? So it all depends, each person has a different thing. So basically, when you perform a task, you want to have music for various reasons, right? So, there is also something called as mnemonics. I'm sure some of you might have heard. It is a word which has been derived from the Greek goddess of memory, Mnemosyne. Mnemosyne and there is a pronunciation difference. But some people, you have different techniques of associating memory with a certain thing. So usually, whenever I used to study for my exams, usually April, May, February, final exams, but April, May exams. పొద్దున్నే మా అమ్మ లేపేది వెళ్ళి చదువుకో ఎగ్జామ్ ఉంది వాళ్ళ అని సో పుస్తకం పట్టుకుని ఐ యూస్ టు గో టు మై టెరెస్ రిమెంబరింగ్ యాజ్ వెల్ విత్ మ్యూజిక్ సో దట్స్ వెరీ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ రిమెంబరింగ్ యాజ్ వెల్ విత్ మ్యూజిక్ సో దట్స్ వెరీ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ and then some people listen out of intellectual curiosity. I think most of us would call it that. Because we want to listen to what kind of ragam that is, what are the bases, what are the Swarkalpana, or you want to kind of boost your intellectual curiosity about music as such. So you try to analyze the patterns of the Swarkalpana. And the third thing, and most importantly, people listen to music to influence their own emotional state. I think someone said for emotional state of mind. So they would probably have a goal of achieving a desired mood, for example. Let's say you want to be happy, so you want to have some uplifting music to achieve that goal. Some people, it could be personal circumstances, you are really sad about something, so you don't, at that moment, you don't want to hear something which is uplifting. You want something which is soothing, to calm your nerves, right? So for these various reasons, you listen to music. And when I was reading this book by Swami Pragyananda, the book is called A Historical Study of Indian Music. He says that there is a psychological process behind the perception of raga. So he gives a very lengthy, more description. But if anyone is interested, that's the book, Historical Study of Indian Music by Swami Pragyananda. You will find this, what I said, on page number 120, second paragraph. From there on, we'll have all of this if you are interested to read. So now, shall we go on to the second piece? Second piece of music. I'll play this again. Please listen and then you can give your score from 1 to 5 again. 5 being you loved it, 1 you did not. what do you want to please score? 5 if you have loved it, 1 if you have not liked it at all. And I'm sure you have guessed the Rano. Can you tell me? Puri Kalyan. Yeah? Do you want to just write that name as well on the second line? So, Puri Kalyan. How many have liked this one? Can you just raise your hand if you liked it or loved it? Yes. Brilliant. You're all in my team. Right. So, just keep once. We will go to the second point. So, speaking about ragas, just as how we have personality, ragas also have personality. And we were speaking about ragas and raginis. So, now there are several factors which influence our musical preferences. Our age also actually plays an important role. Then we see that our environmental upbringing and the culture that we are brought up in, that also has a very heavy influence. And then what we like to listen to also could depend on the circumstances that we are in. Okay? How at the moment these circumstances I'm not really moved to listen to some kind. Usually I like to listen to that, but at the moment my circumstances are such that I don't want to listen to them. For example, like you can say viraha bhavana, longing for some lost one, or it can be because of our empathy towards that feeling as well. So we understand that power. So our musical personality might also change over time. At one time, you might say that, so you can also change, your personality also changes, your preferences change, so many things change. Most kids, they don't like to eat kakarkai, but they are tasty actually. Right? So everything changes, even our musical preferences also change. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. If you dig deep, I think that itself will become one session. So shall we listen to another piece then? Third piece. Okay? Average 2, 4. Any guesses about a raga? Yeah. Which raga? Any guesses? Guys, it's okay. Even if it's wrong, that's fine. No one's going to judge you. Okay, so you can actually bring out any kind of personality from the same ragam as well. But I wouldn't say personality, but that's a mood that you can bring out from the same personality. Personality of the ragam will remain one thing, we'll go into that. But you can bring out different moods from the same kind of a ragam. Okay? And speaking of which, the point here is also about how our composers, Vagikaras, have utilized the ragas, and their bhavas to bring out that mood or feeling through their kritis and kirtanas. How beautifully they have utilized the ragas and their personalities to bring out. In fact, if you think about it, before Tyagaraja, let's say way back before Tyagaraja, how was the music like? What would మనం ఇప్పుడు చాలా స్పీకర్లు నేర్చుకుంటున్నాము and then from there on his contemporaries and then the composers later on. But what about Tyagaraja? What did he learn? He wouldn't have learned Tyaga and Pradesh, isn't it? It would be weird if he did. But what did he learn? He would have learned Jayadeva, కదా రామదాస్ కీర్తనలు, పురందరదాస్ కీర్తనలు, and Ganamai కీర్తనలు. So from before that again, before Jayadeva, let's say, what was the music like? How was the music like? So they had more of these grama, murchana, and prabandhalu ఉండేవి, గీతాలు, చిన్న songs, folk music was also there. But in terms of Carnatic music, they had prabandhas, they had these raga, motion, and then the swara patterns and all of that. That was kind of limited. Now I think we have kind of opened up to so many different kinds. And talking about the ragam and the bhavam, the words, if you just have words, then it's only poetry. So music plays such an important role and gives meaning to those words. And our composers have kind of utilized all of these ragas and all of that to bring out those emotions from those words. Right? So the raga bhavam is essentially the essence, the feeling that the composer wants to bring out from the composition. And in fact, Vagikaras, you have three kinds. I'm sure those who have kind of studied about this Manikar. It is given in Sangeeta Siromani, and it's called Vagikaru, and there are three types of Vagikaras. Right? Sreshta, Madhyama, and Adhama. Sreshta, and they compose the music and the words, the lyrics. Madhyama, and they compose the music but not the lyrics. Adhama is a person who writes the lyrics but doesn't compose the music. Okay? Now if we actually see another composition, so there is one kriti that I would like to just bring in front of you today. It is by Arunachal Kavi. And the kriti you might have heard is Contain in Vasantaraju. It's a composition where Hanuman, once when he sees Sita in Ashokavaram, he comes back to Rama, he says that I have seen Sita. However, just think about it. He's not brought Sita with him. He's come alone and he says, Rama, I have seen Sita. What would have Rama asked immediately? Like, how is Sita? He's worried about Sita. How is she? So, it's not just about excitement that he's seen Sita, but he's seen Sita in a very peculiar medieval state, sitting in Ashokavadam, surrounded by all of the Rakshasas and demons. She is just waiting, finding for Rama. So, how would he describe that to Rama? He'll not be very excited and say that, oh yeah, I'm seeing Sita, yes. How will he describe the medieval state? How can he even think of telling Rama that, I see Sita, but she's in such a pitiable state? So, unfortunately, in the recent times, this Kirtana has, it's not unfortunate that it's become popular, but it's unfortunate how people are singing it. They're not giving the importance to the bhavam that the composer wants to bring out from the ragam. So, what they just take those first two words and think that the whole kriti is happy, very excited, and then start singing Kanden, 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 Sitaye Kanden, Raghavam. And so it's not about excitement, right? So there are the pace also plays an important role. You can't sing all kritis very fast and think that I'm going to bring out my scholarliness by singing that very fast, and that's not going to happen. How does he say it? Like a wilted lotus. Aravinda. Aravinda Veda Vaitharavanda Matavel Kavi Virihalil Mori Minna Kadivai So this paragraph, this charanam, each sentence has a mixture of emotions actually. I was trying to analyze each and every line, and I was seeing how beautifully it is integrated with and Ragam Vasanta, you can bring out Gamiranga, Sweetam Mamayamma, proudly he's saying, Subrahma is my Amma. Sriramudu Makunandi. So, proudly he's saying that Rama is my father. Sita is my Amma. And in that same ragam, you can bring out that pathos as well. The Kashayam Bhattu, there are different meanings which people try to infer. But Kashayam Bhattu is very together. She's sitting alone. How sad you would have been to tell Rama. Sita is sitting alone. She is like Rama, 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 Japa, she's taking your name, Rama, and she's sitting alone over there. Demons, the Rakshasas, they're there trying to keep guard on Sita. Without singing them, the meaning is incomplete. He goes on to say, Chi and they will say, Ravande and Sita. Then he says, and it's very interestingly he tells, Rama, Valini Chamsau. Vali, if anyone, Vali could actually fight with Ravana. He did that. It's given in Ramayana. Vali talked to Chutti, Ravandi, president. So if anyone could have kind of killed Ravana, maybe Vali could have it. Where is Rama? Vali has a chance. So they would know Rama Jessai. You check on Amati. Right. So like I said, if I go on, then I'll start. I'm very conscious of time as well. But let's move on to the next musical piece. Okay, the fourth one.
We want a separate concert of you in music.
Definitely. Okay, we'll go for the fourth piece, and once you listen to that, again you can give your scoring. Hamsadhani, brilliant. So, and we have several compositions on Vinayaka. Hamsadhani is usually sung in the starting of the concert, so it's very auspicious kind of a feel you get when you listen to Hamsadhani, isn't it? And we can also identify the personality of a raga through the compositions, and we should bear that in mind, like I said just some time ago, when we sing or perform those kritis. And if you take another example, you can bring out whichever emotion you want from the ragam, isn't it? So you have to keep that in mind when you sing your raga lagam. Unless you're bored and you just want to stop and and it's bringing out that pathos. If you listen to this one, it might not be very different, but dim dim ta la 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 dim dim ta la 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 dim 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 tom dim ta la 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 dim ta la la dim ta la la tom 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 ta tam 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 ta dim 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 ta la 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 dim dim ta la 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 dim. So try to bring out an energy from that. Okay? It's actually, you can actually say like, this is a very serious person, but is trying to have some good time with his family. Right? Usually when serious family is allowed and then I want to be involved in so we'll quickly go on to the next piece and then let's see what we right? So, the fifth musical piece Take that again. 5 being if you loved it, 1 if you hated it. Okay? And of course, all of you know the raga. Tori. And this raga has so much scope. You can bring out whichever mood you want from this. Maybe, that's why Tori Sitaram ended up with Correct? He sang Tori for 8 days. Definitely, if you have so much scope, why not? And can you tell me what are the key factors which contribute to the raga bhava? Again, I've been speaking. I want some of you to say something. Or, like Like, have you ever wondered why a composer would have chosen that particular ragam for that particular melody? In the A ragam states, in Pa ragam. For example, if you think about Tyagaraja's ఎందుకు ఆ రాగం ఏ రాగం ఇది చెంచుకాంబోజ్ అసలు సచ్ ఏ రాగం ఇంకా ఏ కీర్తనలు మేబీ తర్వాత ఎవరు చేసి ఉండరేమో కదా సబమగ మలగిస మలగిస గాయి సగిలగి మమగరి సగి సబమగ మలగిస మమగరి ఏసగి లగి ఏసగి లగి మమగరి goes on. Why such a complicated ragam, Nanta Vakram, such a rare ragam? Why did Tyagaraja pick up this ragam for the Kriti? What is the essence of the Kriti? Why great singers or musicians అనుకుంటున్నారు పదరేరయ్య అలా just prattling, they are struggling saying that వర రాగ లయజ్ఞులు తామనుచు పదరేరయ్య. They are saying they are very great people who can, only they know the intricacies of music, vara, like ragam, talam, avani, స్వరజాతి మూర్ఛన, ఆంకలంలో కూడా చదివారు. అవన్నీ కూడా ఏమి భేదభా వాటికి డిఫరెన్స్ తెలియకుండా వాళ్ళే పెద్ద గొప్ప మ్యూజిషియన్స్ అనేసుకుంటున్నారు రామ. So he is taken to show his own scholarliness in that as well. But it's not just about conveying the message simply in words. Music plays such an important role in the composers. So, coming back to my question. So, what are the key factors which contribute to the raga bhava?
Fast or slow?
Fast or slow? Okay. Yeah. Basically, so if I say, we were just speaking about composer, right? Composer, that's the first key factor. Composer plays a key role in bringing out the raga bhava. It's important what ragam they choose, for what message, for what mood they want to bring out. Composer plays a very, very important role. Now, can you tell me two more? I told you one. The other is the performer. If you can't do justice to what the composer has done, if you can't bring out that particular emotion, then the composer will feel so sad. Right? If you can't perform it the way the composer wants it to, then you're not conveying it. And the third, and the most important, is that receiver, who is the listener. Listener also, they have to kind of try and understand the feeling, right? Which is why you might have, with some concerts, you go to some concert and then you listen to one kind of, let's say, for example, Todi. అంత బాగాలేదు రాగం అనిపిస్తుంది. ఇంకొకళ్ళేమో పాప ఎంత బాగా పాడారు కదా రాగం అంటే నేను ఎలా అంటున్నారు రాగం నచ్చలేదు. That's not your fault. That's not that person's fault. It could be so many factors. It could be the performer himself who's not performed well, or it could be that you are not in the mood to receive that particular mood of the ragam. But someone else can resonate with that. You are not able to. Or maybe you did. You love the ragam. You love that composition or that bhava, but someone else was not able to resonate with it. Right? So if you actually go through Sangeeta Shiromani, you have qualities of a Purna Gita, how a full song should be, and then qualities of a good song, qualities of a performer, how they should perform. Avani chala istar kada. And also, I have some more examples, but I think I will leave it for later. నేను అలా పాడుతూ ఉంటే నేను అలా పాడుతూ ఉంటాను. It will become my concept range. We'll go for the final piece, sixth piece. Okay. preference, third preference, third preference, 3, 4, and 5 and 6 like that. So 1 to 6 if you can rank those ragams. 1 being the first rank, best you love. Rank 1, best rank, preference. All of the 6 pieces that you heard.
First is best.
First is best. Hello, same word.
First and the best.
Chivarni, on the right hand side you have small boxes and find the ranking and that center. So it would be great if you can read. Rank 1 to whichever piece you love the most. Second, best that you liked. And third, that you like to do what friends. Like I was saying, like the personality of the person also comes out through. So there is a beautiful example.
Ratings for rats.
Ranking already kada
Papanas.
okay. Namami Shamishan Nirvarupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahmaveda Swarupam Nijam Nirgunam Nirvikalpam Niriham Chidakashamakashavasam Bhajeham Nirakaramokaramulam Turiyam Girajnanagotikamisham Girisham Karalam Mahakalakalam Kripalam Gunagara Samsarapalam Natoham. This was the Rudrashtaka. Okay? जटाटवीगलज्जलप्रवाहपावितस्थले कलेवलं जलं विताङ्कुजङ्गतुङ्गमालिका ढमढमढमढमन्निनादवड्डमल्लयं चकारचण्डताण्डवं करोतु नः शिव शिवम्. ఇది అండ్ ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ నో ప్రైజెస్ ఫర్ గెసింగ్. ఎవరు ఏంటి కంపోజ్ చేశారు? ఒకటి రాముడు, ఒకటి రావణుడు కంపోజ్ చేశారు. ఏది ఎవరు చేశారు? శివతాండవం రావణుడు చేశాడు. ఫస్ట్ పాడింది రుద్రాష్టకం. అది శ్రీరాముడు బిఫోర్ హీ గోస్ టు లంక he prays, he does the puja for Shiva, and it's said that Shiva he చేశాడు రుద్రాష్టకం శ్రీరాముడు రచించారు కదా. సో ఏది ఎవరు చేశారన్నది ఈజీగా చెప్పేసి నువ్వు పిల్లల్ని పట్టుకున్నా ఇది రావణుడు చేశాడు, ఇది రావణుడు ఒకటి రాముడు ఒకటి చేశాడు, ఎవరు ఏది చేశారు అంటే యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ సే ఢమడ్ 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 ఢమన్ నినాదవడ్ ఢమన్వయం అంటే అది రావణుడే అయి ఉంటాడు. సో ద పర్సనాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ద కంపోజర్ ఆల్సో కెన్ కమ్ అవుట్ త్రూ ద కంపోజిషన్స్. యూ కెన్ మేక్ అవుట్ ద కంపోజిషన్. Anyway, so now that we have done our musical personality, score and all of those things, can you just move on to the next slide, please? Yes. Now, first, మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేసినప్పుడు మీకు ఒక స్కోర్ వచ్చింది. I asked you to just make note of that score. So ఎవరికి 10 to 24 మధ్యలో ఎవరికి వచ్చింది? Can you just raise your hands? 10 to 24 మధ్యలో ఎవరికైనా స్కోర్ వచ్చిందా? There's nothing right or great or wrong with nothing like that. It's just about your personality. 10 to 24 ఎవరికైనా వచ్చిందా మంచిలో లేదు. 25 to 35 మధ్యలో ఎవరు ఎంతమంది? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Right. So 36 to 44 మధ్యలో yeah, and 45 to 50 వచ్చింది మధ్యలో. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So now let me just quickly go through the ragams that we have listened to today and their kind of their personality. And I don't think we have too much time. We've already run out of time, unfortunately. So we can just quickly go through. Maybe I need one volunteer. Who wants to volunteer for this course? Yeah. And can you also pick your sheet that you answered initially? The sheet 1. And you can hold of that. You know, like we were speaking about Kadankutugalam, you gave me some brilliant words for the uplifting, it's energizing, it's, you know, lively and all of that. And it's also very pleasing. Someone said it's very pleasing, it's relaxing as well. So just because it is lively doesn't mean that it is irritating or annoying. It's quite relaxed as well. So that's your personality for that ragam. It is kind of an extrovert ragam. It's not too like accepting or anything, but it is like chilled out. It is carefree, it's relaxed, not overly emotional. You know, that kind of a ragam that is. And Puri Kalyani again, it's very like traditional. It felt very traditional. It's slightly like open and kind of, you can say, introvert. So like that, for each ragam you can kind of see how those personalities come out. For Shubhabantu, it's very interesting ragam because you can bring out various, like it goes from one end to the other. It's very curious, it's open, but very not too open. It can become discordant, kind of average, its consciousness is like average, it's introvert, so on and so forth. So if you go on to each ragam, you can, okay, let me just see. Okay. So let me see. Are you okay if I tell which ragam you like the most and all of that? Okay, so your first preference was Kadankutugalam, right? And followed by Hamsadhvani, but you have scored both of them equally. But when you have to pick between them, right, for Kadankutugalam and Hamsadhvani, but interestingly, both ragas are kind of similar in personality, right? So they're very energetic, right? So if I see your score as well, you, what was your score? 38. So that falls into the, you prefer lively music. That's what we told us as well. So you prefer lively music. Kadankutugalam is lively. Hamsadhvani is also very lively. Uplifting, yet soothing, right? Intricate exposition that attracts you. You love a bit of tradition. Now, if I go on to your, what is your third preference? Shivaranjani, right? 4 is Todi.